Hey guys, this is match 1 of the event that I'm posting. We got a turn 1 Arbor Elf and then another land, so we're definitely going to be keeping this one. It's a pretty exciting hand. It also has the... Oh yeah, I made a switch. I took out the Liliana's Shade and I put in a Mark of the Vampire in the last second of the deck building. And I've got the combo, the Primal Hunt Beast Mark of the Vampire combo. That's not a combo, some of you may say. But then I say, yes it is. So, there you go. Yeah, so I play the turn 2 Ring of Zathrid, equip it to my Arbor Elf. Why not, right? It's not going to cost me anything. I'm not going to be attacking with the Arbor Elf into the Jesus Phantasm. I don't think Jesus Phantasm is a very good card unless you're really heavy on the mill strategy. And then, even then, you're trying to mill somebody and Jesus Phantasm is just like a backup. So most of the time it would just work as a 5/5 wall if you've already milled your opponent for 10 cards or 7 cards plus 3 that they've used. It just doesn't seem good to me. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play the Primal Hunt Beast instead of the Vampire Nighthawk, because if he does end up killing my Arbor Elf, I'll still be able to play the Vampire Nighthawk, but I won't be able to play the Beast. And then also running out the Mark of the Vampire Primal Hunt Beast combo as early as possible is really good, because then it makes it very difficult for him to race. Like, there's literally nothing stopping us for the combo this turn. And you have to always remember, like, usually I like to tap my spell, pick my target, and then tap my lands. But with Arbor Elf, you need to tap your lands first, because you need to be able to untap the forest. So it's counterintuitive. But, whatever. Also, another thing that I've noticed while recording my matches is that actually the Modo runs slower when Camtasia is running, which is the program I use to record my matches. So that can be a problem sometimes. Oh yeah, drawn to the plummet, that's always nice. And now they put us to sleep, but because we decided to play out the Primal Hunt Beast and the Mark of the Vampire before the Nighthawk, we now have the ability to just play the Nighthawk. Gets his sleep back. But the fact that our guy has the lifelink means we've got like 2 lifelink guys, so I don't know. It's very difficult for him to race us. We can safely attack all of our guys here, because he can block with everyone and kill the Primal Hunt Beast, but we could plummet. And that would be a huge deal. And we could also plummet if he double blocks the Nighthawk, so we'll go up to 26, and then we'll play this other guy that puts us up to 28. There was a forum topic on the MTGNoob about life gain and why good players hit life gain is bad, and poor players like life gain, and that's a very simple way of looking at it. However, cards that only give you life are not helping you win the game, generally speaking. Cards that give you incidental life gain help you win the game, because it stabilizes tempo situations. So cards like Vampire Nighthawk or Mark of the Vampire are cards that are actually dealing additional damage, and on top of dealing, or cards that deal damage, and on top of dealing damage, they also give you life, so that it helps nullify the attacks of your opponent. If I just had a bunch of Angel's Mercies, it would just prolong the inevitable, and I would eventually die. So cards with incidental life gain are just generally a little bit better. And he gets back his sleep again, but still he's not winning this race. This is a poor situation to be in. Okay, so we're going to go in with the team. We're going to plummet the Windrake before blockers. And the reason for that is if he goes down, if he takes additional damage, then he'll go down to 2. Like, if he goes down to 2, we can just kill him. And then it also, like, if he, what he's probably going to want to do is use the Deadly Recluse to block the Hunt Beast. But now he's got to think of a different line of play. So he's just going to take the 3 from the Nighthawk. I'm okay with that. He's going to run out of sleep next turn, and that's alright. Or is he done with sleeps? No, he's got the sleep in his hand. I'm at 30, so the Jace's Phantasm and the 2 Archaeomancers have their work cut out for them. Oh, we got our 4th land. Sweet. Maybe one day, Zathrid Gorgon, public execution. Maybe one day. Alright, moving over to game 2. I don't really know what we want that we don't have. Everything seemed to work out in our favor there. Super happy about switching that Mark of the Vampire in for the Liliana Shade. I think Liliana Shade was better in theory than it is in practice, because I remember seeing that card and thinking that it was like a fantastic new shade for the format. But shades are really slow, and this format is mana intensive already, so it's still not a bad card. It's just a very awkward card, and it's a card that when there's nothing on the board and you're both on top decks and you top deck a Liliana Shade, it's sweet. But in situations where it's like your opponent has some cards in their hand, they could have removal, you don't know whether or not to pump, it's just less good. Alright, so we're starting off with the Evolving Wilds here, which is fine. We don't have any 1-drops. We didn't draw our Tormented Soul. Take 1 from a Phantasm. I didn't see a lot of milling. I just think he's playing Flying Men. We'll run out the rats. Just have another dude on the field. And discard Sleep, which must mean that he has an Archaeomancer in his hand. He's just going to get a little bit of extra value by not actually having to discard a card. But we know that he has the Sleep, so that's useful information for us. We're going to go ahead and pump the rats. You have his Force Mage. Very often just says 2/2 for 3. When it comes into play, deal 2 damage to target player. Very often, that's what it says. And I'm okay with that. That's a pretty decent card in my opinion. And limited. Alright, so he's on the aggro plan, but we're the ones with the Rancor. We're going to put the Rancor on the rats so that we get a little bit of value if he wants to trade them for the Elvish Visionary. And he does not, so we're gonna go Tormented Soul, and Ring of Zathrid. Click the wrong card. That was a misclick. Also, misclicking is another reason why you want to click on your spell before you click on your lands, because you can cancel it. But if you already had the mana in your mana pool, and then misclick a spell, you're not able to cancel it. It just plays it out. There's no undo. Alright, so he's got a decision here if he wants to try and mess with my mana base, or if he wants to destroy the Ring of Zathrid. And he chooses to mess with my mana base, which is fine. It's going to be a really close race. It depends what he wants to do with that acidic slime. If he wants to block, or if he wants to use it to swing. I don't know. Let me draw land, which you don't really need. We're going to put the... We're not really casting anything this turn, so we're going to put the ring on the Force Mage so that if he blocks it with the acidic slime, it regenerates. I'm okay with him trading for the rats because I get my Rancor back and I can put it on my Tormented Soul, but eventually at the end of combat we're going to move that ring over to the Tormented Soul. No, we're not going to use the Sign in Blood. This game's too close to use the Sign in Blood, I think. Alright, so now what does he want to do? Does he want to go in with the team? Because if he does, and he doesn't have any tricks, we probably win. If he leaves back the Visionary, it's a lot better for him, but he's going to press in. Let's see, what's the difference between me being at 3 and me being at 4? He has 4 damage in the air in play. So we know that if he doesn't have any tricks, we attack with the team. He blocks the rats, takes 4, we can Sign and Blood him for the last 2 damage. Oh, he doesn't have any tricks because he's got no cards in his hand. Alright, well that solves that problem. And that's it. Thank you all for watching, and join us for the next round, because we're going to post the whole event, guys. Woo!